For those that have half the time and still wanna watch a cast, you're gonna need something that's twice as fast. You need A's Fastocast. It's A's Fastocast. And we're in. And we're going twice as fast. We're watching in the south. It's Lee's. Stern Pioneers here, of course, is the OKW. Up north, we've got Jimmy. Jimmy is the United States Forces. He is going as the Airborne Company. He is going as a beautiful commander that's not deemed overpowered. People don't whinge about it in the forums. Lee, he's going as the Jaeger Light Infantry toting horrendous, dastardly Overwatch doctrine. Ugh, disgusting. Let's hope he loses. Stern Pioneers up here. We've got a first engagement in the west. It's First Grenadiers versus Rear Echelons. Rear Echelons tanking the damage from behind the tank trap. Good work, boys. Are they going to win out? 2 versus 2. They've already gotten 3 kills, those guys. And they are finally forced away. Seems like the First Grenadiers won out there. They are going to run away, seemingly. They have another First Grenadier fresh onto the battlefield and ready to take the fuel. Elsewhere in the east, another engagement here. Riflemen make it behind green cover. Stern Pioneers lose a very valuable model, very expensive, 30 manpower, and then have to find their own cover in the safety of the shed. What is the Fastocast? Well, it goes twice as fast as you may have gleaned. This is the second ever episode. It is an evolving format. The difference being in this episode, we are going to take a half-time break to try and do a little bit of analysis to see who we think is going to win. And it's going to be an excellent game. I know this is an excellent game. I already bloody saw it in observer mode. And it went on for a very long time. A lot happened. And it was very, very cool. So I thought, you know what? My beloved subscriber base, 8,000 and strong and counting. I love each and every one of you. You deserve to watch this game. But your time is valuable. And I know you've got things to do this weekend. So you can watch it in half the time. Thanks to the Fastocast. Riflemen going west to try and take the fuel. First Grenadiers come to mitigate. They make it behind the boat. They watch on. Overwatch flares ignite. Fly into the air, as does the incendiary grenade. Well dodged by Jimmy. Meanwhile, razor wire has been planted in the center by that same American player. He hails from Australia, actually, the guy himself. Cowering behind the house here. I don't want to tango against green cover First Grenadiers with the rate of fire they are granted, relatively. A lot more the models face when you're up against 2 windows. However, there was another rifleman coming and he pushed him away. What's this coming out? It is the lieutenant. Looks like they're upgrading to the bazooka. Elsewhere in the east, Stern Pioneers newly reinforced up against riflemen. Doing the tango. Doing the doozy-do. Stern Pioneers. First Jaeger Light Infantry Squad. Looks like they capped this fuel to deny it, and now they're capping the victory point. Elsewhere in the west, First Grenadiers out in force, forcing away the riflemen. It's already a good game so far. I know it's only been 6 minutes, or 3 minutes in your time. But it's been decent. We've got the M20 in the build, rear echelons being pushed away. Nice push in, by the way, by riflemen. They came all the way around this way and then took cover behind green cover. This is denying the OKW the fuel that they've only just finished capping. Good work by them, doubling up the riflemen to force away the First Grenadier with the STGs and then completing the cap. Elsewhere, First Grenadiers have gone around here to cap this point and avoid the barbed wire sandwich. They're going to take the cut-off for themselves. Meanwhile, M20's now on the battlefield. Just gotten its first kill again. The Stern Pioneers have been bullied. More Jaegers. Looks like the first one didn't do so well. Half track taking out on tank traps, taking out that frustration. Meanwhile, First Grenadiers getting pushed away. M20 doing damage. Forcing me away, capping it, but he shouldn't tango for too long. Indeed, he is in retreat. We now have an M180 gun being battle dropped into the battlefield. Paradropped, rather. That's the word I'm looking for, isn't it? He's that dastardly M20. Volksgrenadier is cowering in the garrison. There's the M1 about to be crewed. Probably going to wait for the rear echelon to be back out safe. Rear echelon, by the way, I mean, look how many kills it has. 4, veterancy 2. It's got more veterancy than the rest of the army combined. Oh, he's got that rear side facing. He's blindsided by the AA half-track there. M20 comes into tango. Pop smoke to hide the retreat path. That is high-level stuff by Jimmy. Did you see what he just did? That's cool. I love to see that. Meanwhile, JLIs and Volksgrenadiers forcing away the US en masse. I loved that smoke pop. That was nice. Rifleman versus Rakettenwerfer revealing said AT gun. M20 being able to operate with impunity now. Forcing the Volksgrenadiers on a nice retreat path around the building. Jaegers and Volksgrenadiers pushing up through the centre. The AA half-track did destroy that razor wire, so it's allowing the path through now. Now a shoe mine's being planted. Meanwhile, Rifleman pushing in to take the standard points there. It's a nice, high-paced game. Jaeger Light Infantry weren't able to take the victory point, but the AA half-track is able to suppress. We've got the Panzerschreck upgrade on the Stern Pioneers, so they're clearly going to be gunning for the M20, yes, but also the Stuart that's just been built. Heavy engagement here. We've got the Thompsons upgraded to the airborne. They have dropped from the skies above. AA half-track forces them all away. M20 watches on from afar, gets a cheeky pot shot off. Nice mine goes up, kills 2 of those rear echelons. Stuart's finding the angle. Hits a mine of its own. Rakettenwerfer blazing. AA half-track's going to finish the job. There's 2 Rakettenwerfers, in fact. That's hell on earth for a Stuart. M20's also been fausted. Is the Rakettenwerfer anywhere near? No, it's not enough. Here come the airborne. This could be 1 dead Volksgrenadier. Indeed it is. A little bit of sloppiness there from Lee. JLIs acting behind the heavy fire of the MG34. Meanwhile, in the west, it looks like the airborne are denying the fuel here. Oh, the AA half-track's got something to say about that. Or the flak half-track, rather. That's what the word is in German, because it fires flak into the skies. Or in this case, into your rifleman's eyes. Here comes the M20. 8 kills and counting. Doing damn well for itself. Jaeger Light Infantry recapturing their territories, as are the Volksgrenadiers. Meanwhile, in the centre, looks like a good push away for the USF there. Meanwhile, in the west, Rakettenwerfer watches on, is unveiled by the riflemen and their compadres. M1's in a good position. A half-track's hit. Stern Pioneers force it away, however. Lieutenants with the bazooka, the original rocket, handheld anti-tank rocket of the war. I don't know if the Panzerfaust could be counted as a rocket, though. I'm not sure about that. Rocket launcher is probably what I meant to say. It's what the Germans based the Panzerschreck on, but of course they over-engineered the crap out of it, made it even better. That's what they're all about. Oh, this could be sneaky. Oh, that's a lot of damage being done there. Oh, airborne to the rescue. In the centre, looks like Volksgrenadiers are just waiting. Can't wait for too long, though, because here comes the action. Rifleman tagging in for Lieutenant. Nice tag there. Jimmy saving all that manpower and forcing away the Volksgrenadiers. Wasted grenade. JLI's going for the fuel. Riflemen see it. They don't want a tango, especially when they have to close the distance and lose all those models. Obers showing off their eliteness with that MG34 from the hip. Flak not doing too badly for itself. It's gotten 4 kills. Meanwhile, oh, nice from the Obers. We saw a bundle laid down. He finished him off with the MG34. Meanwhile, that M20 was hit by the Rakettenwerfer. Down here, there's Volksgrenadiers versus Lieutenant. Flak half-track watches on. Rakettenwerfer sneakily capping the victory point in the west. We're having the 50 cal dropped from the sky. Here it comes. I missed it. There's the M20. There's Christmas. In the east, airborne being forced away by the flak. This is going to be a ridiculous cast. It's going to be a ridiculous game to watch. We're 9 minutes into an 18-minute game. And I'm already feeling the strain. Liquid is now my brain. Etc, etc. Rifleman versus the JLIs who were unveiled. They close the distance and they are being punished by those G43 rifles. Here comes 5 fresh Yankees with the M20 in tow. Schwer Battalion headquarters is set up. It's been firing on the planes. JLIs survive. Oh, nice work by the Bazooka M20 squad and the lieutenant. They take out the flak. Good work there. Meanwhile, in the centre, we've got Obers pushing in to take that point. Oh, but here it is, though. This is why Jimmy was trying to deny fuel, because he knew the Panzer IV would be coming. When you see the flak, you're always on countdown for the Panzer IV, and here it is. Horrible camo. It's on the battlefield. Pintle mount upgraded. Commander out of his cupola. He's going to be gunning you down. Thompsons and M1 Garands firing. Shrek also. Obers holding the centre. Panzer IV bossing the battlefield. Finds the M20. Smoke is popped. Will he get the kill? He's going to go for it. Oh, but then he sees the M1AT guns. Can't tango for too long. Eats a horrendous amount of health damage. Survives with a third of health. Elsewhere in the west, Rakettenwerfer caps. JLI's doing the same. 50 cal setting up to punish the Obers on retreat. Over here, Overwatch flares allow the MG34 great spotting and line of sight on the rifleman there. Another MG34 for a fresh Ober squad on the battlefield. Mortar also being built for Jimmy. So that's going to give some indirect fire options, maybe a little bit of smoke if he needs to cap the centre, perhaps. But he's been able to do that regardless, thanks to the 50 cal. M1AT guns pushing in. They can hear this being repaired. They know it's there. And surely it is. Also, Lee, by the way, has already got 120 fuel. Just needs 145 to get the second Panzer IV out, should he need it. Sherman's in the build. There you go. Medium armour to meet elite medium armour. I don't know what to call this Panzer IV. The OKW Panzer IV is something else. It's pretty much unstoppable at times. Obers on the hunt, along with their Volksgrund Grenadier compadres. 50 cal caught unawares, bundle nade thrown in. Sherman. Nice shots in, 3 kills already. Elsewhere in the west, Jimmy's pushing hard there. He's gotten those turret stretches. Rakettenwerfer can't do shit about it. Panzer IV's almost repaired, and the second one's almost built already. Here come the airborne with those Thompsons blaring, sprinting around like gazelles. They're doing good work. JLI's come in to mitigate 9 kills, veterancy 2. Look at those sniper-like shots. Second Panzer IV's also on the battlefield. You've got 2 of them now. Here come the bazookas and the Sherman. M4A3. Oh! The damage! Bazooka fire in! Can't finish off his volley, though. JLI's could die. Maybe that's something. No, it isn't. He can't get the kill. Meanwhile, we had Obers with the flank. Doing good work there. 6 kills and counting. Fresh Panzer IV denying any sort of flank. The Alpha Panzer IV is going to be fully repaired. Did escape intact. Shrek doing good damage, but now meets its foe. Look at the bazooka fire, though. Waiting for it. Nice synergy of play there. Using the weaker anti-tank tanks, the M4A3s, but backing them up with Stern, bazooka, and M1AT gunfire. So nice play from Jimmy there. It's always good to see synergistic, combined arms play. Vet 3 JLIs, the scourge of the forums. Everybody's favourite contentious balance topic. It's not so much do they need to be nerfed, it's more how you nerf them seems to be the topic and theme of the day. Panzer IV watches on as the lieutenant makes a foolish gambit there. And here comes the Shermans, possibly in support. Rifleman can certainly help out, as can the airborne. Keep an eye on the munitions count. We, of course, going to be waiting for those P-47s in the late game. Oh, good shot by the Sherman there. Bazookas also. Meanwhile, in the centre, Panzer IV. Some long-range shots by the M1AT guns. I didn't see that coming, and neither did Lee. That was unexpected. He was too busy focused in the east, and then he had his Panzer taken out through the centre. I heard it on my headset. We could have the other Panzer taken out now. Sherman's gunning for him. Can't penetrate, though. The veteran Panzer IV with the 2 stars of veterancy escapes for now. Meanwhile, vehicle crew, who seem to have survived, do good work in pushing away the JLIs. Second Sherman's out, just to further harass Lee and keep him back. Victory point-wise, he's done a good job, has Jimmy. That's why Ober's having to cap the centre right now. Nice shot by the Rakettenwerfer. However, they could be meeting their demise very shortly as the Thompsons blare. Oh, nice grenade as well, forcing away the Obers. In the west, we've got more Obers capping. Vehicle crews in a very precarious position. I tell you what, they're dead. They're very, very dead. Also in the east. Oh, Stern Pioneer's going down. Very good. And they drop the Panzerschreck. Sherman watches on. All pomp and glory that you'd expect of a tank that's rather uncounted at the moment. Unless these Rakettans can start being a lot more successful. Looks like Jimmy might be in steamroller mode, perhaps. And we are at the halfway point now. That's right. So let's have a little think about what we are looking at and where we see this game going. So it's Jimmy versus Lee. We're going to check on the stats, and we're going to see, of course, Lee is the OKW, which means not only does he have a positive KD, he's pretty much been leading in terms of army composition, but you will notice that, wow, we've really seen the ascendancy of these Shermans, and then that big dip there was that Panzer IV going down. So pretty standard stuff, I guess. Best thing so far is clearly the AT gun, because that's unannounced death through the centre. There's the wreckage. It's been salvaged, by the way, by Lee for a little pop of fuel. And now what I'm going to ask you is, are you at this point with me? We're 15 minutes into this cast. I want to know who you think is going to win this thing. We've got Lee in the south as OKW. He's got a very powerful doctrine versus Jimmy in the north. I'm going to tell you now, I haven't given anything away. This game goes the distance. It's up for grabs. It goes to and fro, ebb and flow, backwards and forwards throughout this long battle. I want to have your opinion on who you think is going to win and why. Anyway, let's get back into it. Oh, nice damage there from the Sherman on the Obers. Doesn't want to suffer any more of that. Nice Rakettenwerfer fire, though. Sherman forced away. We're getting up into more fuel territory for the OKW player Lee. He does have 140, 145 and counting. Sector assault artillery as well, should he want to use it. Sherman looking for his opponent. Doesn't want to go too close, though. Thanks to the Rakettenwerfers, keeping him at bay. Third Sherman in the build. That's because this vehicle crew here is repairing this one. Here you go, though. Airborne forcing their way in. But the MG34 Veteran C2 is keeping them suppressed. Nice smoke pop there. And then he had to repair it, but it's all the damage has been done. Panzer IV glances a shot off the front of the Sherman. Very rare you see that. And the second one takes him out. Great work by the AT gun. But then it was dismantled by the MG34. We also saw sector assault artillery. I can't believe that was a bit of unluck for Lee there, you must say. And here comes that third Sherman, not fully into battle quite yet, but the damage was done. Meanwhile, the veteran AT gun was destroyed, so not all bad for Lee. And to be honest, he currently had a triple cap, so it isn't all bad at all. 50 cal. Couldn't quite die to the flanking unit there. Did get the suppression off. More destruction from Lee. Great at destroying support weapons. Airborne and riflemen force their way, and they are unveiled. But all that Lee can see is the disassembly of his captured territories. Major artillery there. Rakettenwerfer's life being made slightly less comfortable, allowing the Shermans to come in, but the Rakettenwerfers actually remained and got some great shots off there. Riflemen trying to force them away, but the MG34 is on the attack, and here comes the Panther. The Panther has been built by Lee. He had enough of Panzer IVs. He lost both of them, and now he's got the heavy tank. Well, the Germans would call it a medium tank in World War II, but it certainly is very heavy indeed. Looking for a shot there. Misses. Here come the Shermans. They bounce, of course, off that angled, thick glacis armor. Really surrounded 90mm, but it's very slanted, so it's its actual effective armor is better than the Tiger's if you take into account the slant. Machine guns forced away by that pintle. Commander for his cupola, just gunning those dirty Yankees down. Sherman's being repaired in tandem. Just have veterancy on this M1AT gun at least. Leek is doing very well with the infantry, it must be said. He's got Vet 5 Focus Grenadier here behind sandbags, just bossing the centre. 13 kills on that bad boy. Panther's not had many targets quite yet that are worthy of his very tight-knit AoE. Oh! Obers getting gunned down by Shermans on retreat. All three of them are going for this high-value, high-priority target. Nearly killed them on retreat there. That trio of destruction. Elsewhere in the west, Raketenwerfers stealthily moving around the battlefield. Grenade dodged by Lee. Obers taking salvage behind the cart. What's the M1AT done doing? Panther pushing in. Sherman taken out. Good work there. Damaged engine though. Where's the AT gun? It's nowhere to be seen. That's what he needs. Great work by those Raketenwerfers. Double suppression by both 50 cals.
We're losing a capture point.
Elsewhere in the east, Veterancy 5 Focus Grenadiers capping the victory point. Lee's doing great in staying on the victory points in the second half of the game. He may be down to 137, but he's plunged his opponent down to 214 and dropping. Sherman comes to deal with the Focus Grenadier menace. Is Fausted for his troubles, perhaps? No, just stays behind. Faust damage, but the Panther's on the hunt. Can't stay in the fight for too long, thanks to now Veterancy 3 AT gun. Good grenade there by the Obers. Keeping the victory point in OKW hands. Panther pushes himself in for one more shot. Not getting greedy. Just trying to get one lucky shell in against one of those Shermans, possibly to finish it off. Panzer IV, the third built in this game, now on the battlefield. Obers with the MG34 finishes off the 50 cal. Jaegers take the machine gun, very valuable in a victory point battle, it always is. They suddenly become powerful again. It's like they're not very good in the mid game, they're great in the early game, but then the late game, all of a sudden, MG guns are all... Well, the gun stands for gun, Matt. G is for gun. MGs all of a sudden become all powerful once more. Obers getting absolutely annihilated. Riflemen couldn't finish them off though, instead target the Raketenwerfers, are able to stream one of them, might take the gun. Meanwhile, Panzer IV pushing in. Panther joins the fight. Shermans, they cower behind the pizza base. AT gun was waiting, as were the bazookas. It was an ambush and the Panzers are pushed away. Good cap by the rifleman. Now a double fuel coming in for the USF. Here come those Obers Soldat and those elite units. They're pushed around by their own 54-ton Behemoth. Elsewhere in the west, Veterancy 250 cal and airborne, more than a match for those Focus Grenadiers. In the east, it looks like, yep, they've certainly got to run away. Good cap there. It's all out in the open. Who's going to win this one? 45 minutes in. Or 22.5 minutes if it's you guys. Sherman just tries to do a little bit of spotting there. 50 cal repositioning. And nice! We got a Jackson on the field. That'll certainly help Jimmy penetrate some of these big lumbering OKW tanks. Sherman duo. Oh, obliterating that 50 cal stolen. Now the Raketenwerfers for it, Veterancy 4, but doing a lot of damage to that Sherman. Here comes the Panther. Oh, good! Smoke pop, but it doesn't matter because the Panther pushes his way forward. And here we go, we got Sherman versus Panther. I know who wins that battle, but no, the Sherman gets behind the Panther. Panther reverses after him. Here comes the Jackson, though. Main gun destroyed! Jackson finishes the job. Elsewhere in the centre, Panzer IV's under heavy duress. Jackson now turns his sights on him and takes him out. This Jackson is a beast. Absolute beast of a tank. It was temporarily abandoned. Takes another shot and finishes the job. Major, who had done some artillery, I believe, there, is now forced away. Wow, Jimmy just found some great assaults there with the Jackson. It wasn't actually him that got the finishing blow, by the way. It may have been a rifleman with the bazooka. Or indeed, the Sherman, perhaps. One of the Shermans is now fully healthed, but Jimmy's showing a few signs of fatigue, perhaps. There we go, we got the second Sherman on the battlefield now. 3 tanks. And Lee is late war German style, having to resort to a casemate tank destroyer. It's the Jagdpanzer, that outgunned cannon, missing woefully. And then comes the engine damage. Will he pursue? He should do, in my opinion. He's not got too many chances left. Come on, Jagdpanzer. There you go, destroyed engine. Target destroyed. Jackson and Sherman weren't able to flank the Jagdpanzer. There was just enough deterrent elsewhere. Seems like this victory point is in OKW hands. It's all about the battle for the centre right now. Oh, M1 AT gun was dismantled. Jagdpanzer pushing in. Some good shots. Rakettenwerfer trying to destroy the AT gun. Does indeed do that. Veteran C5, 28 kill JLIs. Oh, being annihilated by the paratroopers. Everybody in the forums rejoices. Major artillery down against the MG34, Veteran C4. They're still going to be able to set up again and suppress, because every victory point matters now, because Jimmy's down to 79. Oh, good find there. Sherman taken out by the Veteran C5 Rakettenwerfer, which then the airborne take out themselves. So tit-for-tat battles everywhere. Then comes the artillery. The fuck is going on? Horrendous stuff. I think that must have been sector assaults. Looked to me that it killed the OKW, though. I don't know what's going on. Don't ask me. It's going at ×2. Just enjoy it for what you can. That's all I'll say. Another Sherman on the battlefield. Got riflemen roving. 1 victory point in command of the USF right now. Looks like the Major is taking a major stance in the east and taking that victory point. Very important stuff. Here comes the Sherman. Ober's watch on. Oh, big shot in there. Jaeger, or Jagdpanzer rather, is being countered by the Jackson and the bazooka rifleman. Can't tango for too long. Rifle's able to double cap. This will be a triple cap in. Lee can't afford for this to happen. I know he has 125 victory points right now, but he won't have them forever. And there you go. Triple cap is now engaged. Elsewhere in the east, new Jaegers, fresh Jaegers on the battlefield, forcing the Major away. Very important, because they have to capture this point. Here come the riflemen to deal with them. 10 Yanks of the finest order, with Browning automatic rifles, Garans and a bazooka. They can deal with anything the Germans can throw at them. Jagdpanzer laughing at the bazooka fire, but it needs to be in position to counter the Jackson. Sherman watching the Foch Grenadiers, forcing them away. 2 victory points in the hands of Jimmy. We're now going to see an equalisation of the victory points very shortly. 77 and dropping versus 69. What a game this is. 54 minutes of game time. You have to appreciate just how tired these players are. Just how sore A's voice is. He's got a bit of a cold if you can't notice. There you go, 69-69. And that's not my torrent download history. Sherman with a great shot there. Great shot. Target destroyed. Not many infantry squads left for Lee. He seems to have dropped in manpower preservation, and Jimmy's upped his skill shots most recently. Lee needs to do something, but all the victory points are watched over. We've got riflemen sitting on this one. We've got riflemen roving around, keeping both of this one and the central one. It's all looking over for Lee, thanks to the lack of preservation recently. And all the things that have died. Sherman is being attacked by the Panzer IV, but it won't matter, because he's heavily outmatched, outgunned and outnumbered The Jagdpanzer did take out one of them from afar, but it just won't matter. Here come the bazookas. And it's game over as I cough and splurt. Lee does the same as his victory points draw out. And he's on life support. There we go. Sorry, I had a frog in my mouth. For the last half of that cast, it was brutal. I was fighting against it. But anyway, here's the outro. How the fuck does it go again? If you got half the time, but you still want to watch a cast, fuck it. See you later, guys. Bye.